Subscribe, bitches. Ladies and gentlemen, Crown of Thoughts. I'm your host, Double A. This is the first time for this particular mic. I don't know if it'll work. And my playback shit's not very good because my cat chewed through the cord. That's a topic. My cat's too fat and I'm cutting back its food, and then it eats everything. Eats shit that's not really food. It ate through the cord. So when I play this shit back, I can't hardly tell any kind of difference. The volume on my laptop's so shitty. This mic was given to me by Animal G-Bong of Hero of the Day broadcast. Your favorite broadcast. You like it more than this one. This isn't a broadcast. Alright, they're both equal. This is a podcast. The fuck am I here to talk about? This is my other mic. I don't know. This is the one I rap with. I just bought it because it looks cool. I don't know. This one here looks more like a podcast mic. I don't know. I'm just fucking around. Today's topic: does there exist motivation without suffering? And this has been on my mind for a long time. And more so lately because I'm doing some self-improvements. It's like I hit a wall. I hit a wall, guys. Because I'm not suffering anymore. And it's like, now what? What do I do? There's nothing to run away from. It's just this, you know. I was running away from my old lifestyle, trying to build a new one. And it's like, you know, there's lots of things I can improve on, this, that, and the other. Or there's lots of things I know I was doing that I shouldn't have been. Obvious things. Shit like alcoholism, you know that's not like something you should be doing. So, you know, it's whatever. So I'm running ahead towards the future. Kicked the alcohol, all that type of shit. And like went through a hell of a lot. Pure utter hell. Finally made some progress, broke through. I'm clean. And now what? Now what do I do? There's like, I felt this weird emptiness the other night, and it's like, I told my therapist, I'm like, now what's the fucking point now to any of this shit? There really is none, because as a species, we like evolved to not suffer. We evolved to survive and multiply. We don't need to do that shit no more. So we're just like pretending. All this extra shit is distractions. It's just all distractions, you know, whether you want to run a record label like Reality Horror Records, whether you want to do a podcast like Crown of Thoughts, or make hip hop like Double A, or weird instrumental industrial shit like Can't Sleep Productions, also me. That's all a distraction, just like alcoholism is. And it's like, is it fun? I mean, they're both fun. You know, is doing all this shit going to lead towards something? Is doing anything going to lead towards something? I mean, yeah, obviously, but it's like, why? Is there motivation beyond not like trying to not suffer? And this is a interesting one because it depends on what your definition of suffering is. Because like maybe you dream of moving to Germany and living there for a couple of years. Maybe that's your dream, and to not do it would be suffering. So you gotta, so these like definitions, it's gonna be a little bit loose, this one. So for me to not to escape suffering is like my motivation. And then once it's just me and it's like, now what do you want to do with your life? You know, I've been thought about that a whole lot. A lot of shit happened in my younger years. I never gave myself a chance to really do real life shit, like day-to-day shit. And it sounds maybe weird to you, but I'm 39 years old and I'm just learning to deal with like emotions and your day-to-day activities, and you're just like not getting fucked up type shit. And it's like, you know, at first it was so lame, I felt like my head was going to explode. And like it was everything I could do just to stop the fucking depression and the pain and the this and that and the other. Like sobering up is not easy. It's not fucking easy. And that's not even like the sobering up thing is like, it's not like don't drink. You know, you can not drink. You're probably not drinking right now. Well, not if you kicked back to watch one of my awesome fucking episodes and you got your beer with you, whatever. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm really tired. So it's like, here I am, and it's like, I'm pretty settled. All the crazy shit that I was doing that was obviously self-destructive, sort of conquered. And so it's like, now what? My days are just, I get home, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you know, like I figured out a lot of shit about finances, where my money's going actually, because believe it or not, after sobering up, my money was still going somewhere. I figured it out. A lot of it is just not paying attention type shit. I make enough money, but it's like I get home and like if I'm working a 12-hour shift and get home, I'm done. I'm not doing shit after I get home. I actually just worked a 12-hour shift and I'm making an episode of Crown of Thoughts. But I'm not gonna do anything like fucking, I'm not gonna cook. I'm not gonna do any of that type of shit. On my days off, I wake up and I don't want to do anything. And it's like, I mean, it's like not to that degree. Like I get up and I go for my hike, and maybe I'll go out for breakfast and have some coffee and shit, go on my hike and stuff, and then I get back to the house and it's like this fucking house like rotting in here. I've been in this fucking bitch for 16 years now, in this fucking house, watching it. Dude, this house has gone through this house. If these walls could speak, man, the parties that used to go on here in my 20s, it'd be like fucking 20 people in here. I had to rebuild my porch from all the people out front smoking cigarettes. They like caved in my porch. That was fucking nuts. This place was hopping. This was the house. I was the cool guy. Half the people that partied here didn't even fucking know me. Like, I met the one dude at a bar. He's like, "Yo, man, what's up, Aaron?" I'm like, "Yeah, who are you?" "Yeah, we used to party at your house, man. Remember, we'd do keg stands and all the people's change would fall out of their pocket into the bathtub." And I'm like, "I remember there being change in my bathtub. Where am I pointing and shit? Blah, blah, blah. Shit always fucks with me. I remember there being change in my bathtub, but there was a lot of people at these fucking things, so all that shit happened. So here I am. Past 6 years, I would say, I've been living alone. And so this is one, on a serious note, I can't imagine living with somebody. It's like, I've done it like 3 times. Well, I mean, I've had a shit ton of roommates. I'm talking about girlfriends. But I've had a shit ton of roommates, man. But you don't gotta fucking talk to them if you don't want. You know, some are easier to get along with than others. You know, it's just like, I'm getting the stash back. Except I got the bangs. The old stash I had back in the day was straight up. So like, some of the people were easier than others to get along with, roommate wise. And for whatever reason, guys are just easier to get along with, in my experience. Maybe because you can just ignore them if you feel like, and if they get mad, they just yell at you and it's over. You yell back, then it's over. I don't really know the reason. Probably because I'm not dating them. There's really nothing on the line to interact with except maybe, yo, man, the dishes aren't done. It's like, fuck, man, move out then. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not doing them. Anyway, time goes by. I think for 6 years now I've been alone. Pat Weaver lived here for a little bit. That's in my head. I'm like, it hasn't been just like constant 6 years. Pat Weaver moved in here. Very easy guy to get along with. If he's watching this, he's like, fuck no, man. That's not what happened. I was on some fucked up medication when he lived here, and I went nuts. And that was 2 years of my life. That medication made me violent and angry and all kinds of shit. Suicidal. Was whacked out medication, man. And I didn't know what was causing me to feel like that. Shit, if I had Crown of Thoughts back then, I would have done like 1 billion angry episodes about that shit. So he lived here. And so I've been here alone for a while is my point. And it's like, it feels like there's, like I get home and it just doesn't feel like there's a reason to be here. And it's going to sound dark, but I was like thinking to myself, dude, if nobody, like, can I just go? Like nobody's, if no one needs me, can I just fucking go? Like, I don't want to be here. And I don't mean the house. And it's like, I fucking said that to the therapist and shit. And I'm like, dude, well, I don't know what's going on with me, but like, now that I'm not full of emotion, like initially sobering up, it was like the emotion itself was a fucking addicting, like bad emotion. And there's research about that shit. But it's like, here I am now. It's like, what do? I'm stuck. I got, like, on the outside, I probably look like I'm fucking, like I'm one thing, and on the inside, I'm another, and that's all you guys, pretty much. Most of you guys are worse, are more that way than me, because I kind of like I'm outspoken. When you say you wear your heart on your sleeve, that just sounds like some stupid shit. I'm outspoken and I say whatever the fuck's on my mind, but there's still a part of me that no one's gonna see. And for you guys, it's that way. There's a part of you no one's gonna know about. And that part, for me, it's very difficult to handle. And so it's like the suffering. You guys try to quit drinking, tell me that you ain't gonna suffer from that shit. There's a lot of actual shit that went on. Alcohol is the easiest example over even like emotional life situations that you guys might go through and all that. And so you recover from that shit. You're trying to recover. And that's its own addiction, man. Like self-help. I think the reason, those people, and I'm one of them, mind you, and there's those people, they read self-help books constantly, and they're almost like it's their little hobby thing. Hold on a second, guys. And it's almost like their hobby, and it's like they're addicted to self-help. But apparently it's not working. And so you get through all that shit. You sit there alone one night in your house, and it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Period. It's not gonna stop. And it's like, am I expecting, like, I said this on another episode, like I expect too much. Am I expecting there to be some point to this? And there's just not? Am I searching for something that doesn't even exist? I don't know. And it's like, my hobbies are not me. You know what I mean? I can pump out 10 hip-hop albums. It's not going to solve anything in my... It's like when people... It's like, what do you want to do with your life? And it's like, I don't fucking know, man. It's just it's my life. Like, I am here. What for? I couldn't tell you, man. And so, like, where's my motivation? I have no more motivation. It feels like. To do what? There's nothing pressing. And it's like the only reason I feel like I would go anywhere from here is just to stop this shit that I'm talking about. But what about when you feel okay? Are you still motivated? I know there's people that are motivated, but why? What's behind everyone's motivation? It's got to be suffering. Or when I say that, I mean avoiding suffering. Because it's like, then there's like, so you talk about like the nihilist point of view that there's no meaning to life. And then there's the example, I gave this a bunch of times, but if you take a spike and drive it through that fucker's arm, now something matters. The pain. So he wants that to go away. And it's like, you want to do something, and maybe not doing that thing will cause you pain. Maybe the biggest, I heard this before, living your whole life without fulfilling your dreams is like the most painful thing. I don't fucking believe that. That can't be true. There's a lot of fucked up shit that's painful. They're neighbors. I don't know which neighbor, they're doing something out there. So, in my life, I feel like I've been running my whole life. Just running. From something I don't know. I'm just maybe scatterbrained and I never made a plan. I couldn't tell you. It depends who you're talking to, really, though, because if you're talking to someone that's well put together, seemingly, emotionally and financially, and their house is clean, and they got kids, and this and that, and a fucking wife, and blah, 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 they might look pretty well put together. But there's a lot of other factors involved, and for me, I bought this house at a young age. I maintained it for 16 years now. I got a car, not a job. I just got a promotion, blah, blah, blah. So you could say, oh, Aaron's got his shit put together. Fuck, maybe I do. But it just feels some kind of way every day. It's like I get home and what's the thing I should pick to do right now? It's like I don't fucking have a Maybe I need a schedule, because I remember routine during my recovery. Routine was the key component. And maybe I need to build that up more. Get things real rigid to where I know I get home and this and this and this and this has to happen. Because I talk to some people at work that are like that. They, yeah, when I get home, I'm so tired. I'm ready for bed. I could do this, this, and this and clonk out. It's like, how? How the fuck do you go to bed? When you get home from work, don't you feel like you have to do something for the day? Like something has to happen? Maybe this is like the old tale of the alcohol and shit. You feel like every day's got to be a party. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of fucking fulfillment. I'm not seeing it, man. I mean, not on a personal level, like within me, you know, because there's, you know, family shit like that, you know, which I've been getting, recovering and shit like I am. I've been getting closer to them, my daughter, all kinds of shit. And there's that. And then, you know, and there's another thing, because I asked the question, what's my motivation? And I came up with a lot of, I was just like scrambling through my head, and I'm like, you know, maybe this is actually clinical depression when you don't feel motivated, or, you know, you don't really want to do anything specific. Maybe I'm scatterbrained. Maybe I'm lonely. Because I don't really know. It sounds like a weird thing to say. I cannot live with another person right now. Because it's fucking annoying, man. Everywhere you turn, it's like they're fucking being chased through the house. It's like, leave me the fuck alone. I can barely handle Kanga. When Kanga gets in her mood and runs up the steps and runs to her bowl and stuff, I'm like, well, this cat, please leave me alone. So a human, I've done it. Maybe I got cabin fever right now, and I'm just so used to fucking not hearing anyone talk, not having to deal with anything. Maybe that'd be good for me. But all right, so anyway, the thing I wrote, be it true or not, is that I can't live with someone. It's too much drama. I can't live alone anymore without drugs. It's like, what do you do alone without drugs? I mean, I got shit that I'm getting involved with. This and the reality horror records. Signed Monster. Keep it Monster. Dropping soon. My new album is going to drop soon. And then I'm going to start the next one right away. There's that shit. I mean, I'm getting involved in shit. It's just not doing nothing for me. It's like, it's how I occupy some of my time. It's like, I remember seeing my grandma would put puzzles together and shit. Maybe I could take some advice from how she lived her life at her end years, because she was in the same boat, lived alone for a long time. My grandpa died when I was like 1 year old. I don't remember the guy. I was told he would have been nice, taking me fishing, all that fucking shit. But my grandma was a good example. Let me think about that. She kept herself busy. That might be like almost the whole thing, is keeping yourself busy, because I got the projects. Okay, so I got these projects, but it's not an everyday thing. I don't have something to keep me busy every day. I got creative shit to do. I don't have other shit to do. I just kind of, and maybe, because I know I was keeping the house clean and cooking every night. And stuff like that made me feel a lot better. And maybe it's just, I'm just like, my house is starting to take over me again. Maybe I'm sliding. And that happens. Shit comes in waves. It comes and goes. Like your progress I'm talking about in this scenario. it will come and go. It won't just go forward. You'll like go like this and slide back. Go like this and slide back. Maybe I'm just on one of them slide backs. I notice another thing too is your emotions change. You're not just one set thing. Because it was like 2 days ago this mood started. It's still here. This is day 3, and I still feel pointless. And I still feel it was kind of scary how I said it, but with the therapist, you just say whatever the fuck you're feeling. And it's not like they can tell usually if it's like something they should worry about or not. But I said, I'm like, if no one needs me in this life, like, can they just let me get out of here? I said that, and it's like, I think the point I was making is I'm tired of this shit. I'm fucking tired. And I said that to myself a lot. I'm tired of this shit, and so I changed this shit, and now maybe it's like I'm having trouble accepting this is my life. Like this shit. This fucking shit. This is my life. Maybe that's part of substance abuse, is not accepting this is life. This is your life. And I think it is. What did they say in AA meetings to me? My fucking head. I cannot retain any thoughts. Oh yeah, acceptance. The serenity prayer, they would say. I think that's what it is. AA though. Oh. Dude, they'd want me to hold hands at the end. I'm like, I'm not holding your fucking hands. I'm not in kindergarten. The fuck? And then they'd want me to talk to people. It's like I wasn't there for probation. You don't gotta make me like feel comfortable or make me. Actually, that makes me uncomfortable. I did not like it, so I left. When I was younger, I was there for probation, but I didn't give a shit then, so it didn't matter. AA, serenity, acceptance. Maybe I'm just not accepting this is my life. I just got to accept that maybe there's not going to be some thing. There's not going to be something that I can always go to make me feel better. And maybe it will. She said that to me, my therapist. It was a long time ago. I've been in therapy like fucking 10 months. I'm still crazy. I mean, you can see I'm calming down a little bit. She said it's going to feel pointless. She said it's going to feel awkward and pointless for a while. And maybe she said a lot of stuff that I thought was just for the moment. And it's really not. And it's really consistent. And so, for a lot of you guys, if you feel like you're in a slump and you're like, fuck life, man, I can't do this shit no more. What's the point? Well, you're not the only one that feels like that. A lot of people do. But they have that part in their head you're not going to see. That they're not going to show you. And, don't really know that I have an answer or something that's going to make you guys feel better if you deal with this shit, other than your emotions fluctuate. And so you won't feel like that all the time. If you do feel like that every day, all the time, you should probably get some kind of fucking help. One of your buddies to talk to. I say this a lot. If you don't have like 1 or 2 people in your life that you can just dump all your bullshit on, then life is very difficult. And if you would be one of those people for someone else, then you probably got someone that you can dump your shit on. Because I know there's a couple people, all they gotta do is call me. I'm there. I'll talk for an hour. If they got problems. There's a couple people where I'll drop. If I'm at work, I'll be like, let me get the fuck out of work, man. But I'll talk to them. There's people like that. And then I can call them when I'm feeling like shit. But I was feeling too much like shit, and I actually needed better professional advice. Guys, sorry. You know who the fuck you are. So I have a therapist, and with this is not an ad. This is not a commercial. Although I should tell them about this shit so they send me money. BetterHelp.com. It's fucking amazing because you can text your therapist daily. I fucking send her a message daily and she answers it basically every day. And I always got, and so when you're in a mood, so for me, I'm always in, everyone's always in a mood. My moods change and I don't know how to deal with them because sobriety is some whole other shit to me. And so I tell her my moods and she'll say like, like that's normal or what's causing that, or she'll give like little suggestions. Have you tried this? Or she'll just be like, I know that fucking sucks. It's difficult. She don't swear. It's a professional conversation to a degree. In the beginning, I wouldn't swear, and she's like, "Dude, you know what I do for a living?" I'm like, "I don't know how people talk to you. I know I can cuss too much, and it's just not necessary for this format of texting my therapist." And then she's like, "Be comfortable." So I did. But she'll tell me like, that is something everyone goes through. This is how some people deal with it. And maybe you can't deal with it at all. I mean, maybe you just have to stick it out and get through. Maybe sometimes it's just good to go to bed when you're in certain moods. But my motivation, man, like right now, what am I motivated about? I just want to fucking, I'm tired, man. Maybe I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed, and actually, someone called me. One of these people I was talking about called me maybe a week ago. Had a bunch of shit to dump on me, and I try to be a good friend and give advice. It's easier to give advice than to take it. But I'm like, dude, you just sound like you're overwhelmed. Because he's like, man, he's like kind of what I'm saying, but different take on it. But he's like, dude, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. This is fucked up. I can't stop doing this other thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you are overwhelmed. It's not the end of the world. It's the fact that you are overwhelmed. And I told him, take out a piece of paper. So I'll tell you guys this as advice. Take out a piece of paper. Draw a fucking line through the center on the left side. Put all your obligations, your bills, your this, that, the other thing, your job, your car, all that shit that you have to do on the left. I hate that bullshit. It's fucking lame. That's the column that I don't deal with very well. Washing your clothes, doing dishes, fucking paying the electric bill, blah, blah, boring ass bullshit. Then on the right side of the paper, write down all your other emotional style problems, what people are in your life, and then what do they need? Do they need anything from you? Do they like think you're awesome and they're trying to be your buddy, trying to be one of the cool kids? Are they little and they need some guidance, like your actual kids? Do they just need you? Like they need some kind of affection? Maybe my ear just started ringing. Maybe they don't need like you to raise them, or maybe they don't need you to just sit there and spout out rules, but they need affection and all this shit. And it's like, so put on the right side of your paper all the people in your life and all the emotional problems they have and what they might need from you. And so here you got your responsibilities. You got the fucking bullshit on the left, the boring shit, the paying bills and having the job and whatever. If you don't have a job, go kind of find. There's a lot of people that don't have a job. I mean, it's It happens. I mean, that's part of some people's recovery is getting, like, for me, it's still trying to do your standard laundry and shit and cook food for myself instead of eating at restaurants. For you guys, maybe it's like, I don't have a job, man. That's key to, if you're depressed, get a fucking job now, because that depression comes from doing nothing. And on the right side, the left side, you got boring shit, non-emotional shit, I'll say. And on the right side, you got all the people in your life, and which ones do you have to take care of in some way? And then on the bottom of the paper, I forgot to say this initially. Draw a line through the center and then draw a line across. And on the bottom, you put you. So you got your bills, blah, 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 putting food on the table, yada, yada. You got your loved ones. What do they need from you? Are you hurting them in any way? Are you hurting them just by hurting yourself? Shit like that. And then on the bottom, you put yourself. What do you need? Because a lot of people that deal with substance abuse and shit might not realize it, but a lot of them don't like themselves. And that's why they do it. And they don't fucking know that shit. They don't, like me. I didn't. It's hard to explain with words are words, you know. It's hard to explain that shit. It's not like I didn't like myself. It's like, fuck. I didn't want to take care of myself because I didn't feel like I was worth all the effort. I thought I thought I was cool and kick ass, but I didn't want to fucking bother. And that's kind of like what this episode is about, because I don't have that kind of motivation. Like, does it have to be? Is it like something you manifest over time? Is it normal for me to feel like this after 10, 11, 10? I don't know how many months of sobriety. Should I still be feeling like this? It's just, I don't fucking know, man. It's like, who knows? Tomorrow I might wake up all happy and shit. That's kind of a big thing for me now, is learning that there's all different emotions, and they're not going in terms of like months. They're going in terms of days or hours. Shit, when you're sober, the emotions just come and go, man. When you're fucked up, it's like a month of nothingness. Comfortable nothingness, not like the kind of nothingness I was describing earlier. And then like some shitty thing happens and you're pissed off for a month and you feel like buzzed for another couple months. It's a weird, there's not super emotional shit going on. It's all under the surface where it belongs. So, motivation, man. You're running away from something that's motivating. You're addicted to drugs, you're going to die if you keep doing them. No, there's some motivation. It's not very... If you had motivation before that point, maybe that would not have happened to you. And so where do I get it from? Where does it come from? Do you guys, like, maybe you all have the same thing and you've just had it, the same problem, and you just had it for so long that you've managed to navigate it. Maybe it'll start to go away, but I think this is something some way that my brain's been wired, that maybe as a kid I was like that. I don't know, man. I remember being super depressed in high school, like super fucking depressed, where I was it was not related to anything. It was just, I was just like nothing. And they put me on Adderall and it got worse. Can't believe they fucking, it wasn't Adderall, it was Ritalin. Then it was Adderall. I don't remember it getting me all jacked up like it does now, like it did when before I sobered up. But they were probably giving me like fucking 15 milligrams. As opposed to like, I don't know, 60, 80, whatever the fuck I would do. Um, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use that paper, and on the bottom of the paper you put yourself, and this is the hardest part. What do you need? I was telling my buddy, because he's like, dude, I just assume die if I didn't have my kids and my family. That's what I live for. And I'm like, that's a problem. You know, your drinking's out of control. You just told me that, and this and that and the other. And you just living for your kids will not work, man. It's not going to cut it. You need a thing. You need a thing. And so I said, find something. It could just be like, for me, it was walking. It could just be a walk where you can think to yourself. It's something you do alone that no one else can be a part of. And it's got to be 7 days a week, every single day, and it can't be jacking off or some shit like that. It can't be something stupid like a joke. It's got to be a real thing that you live for, that you will eventually live for. It'll do something to you, give you some kind of thing. Start there. And I started with the walks, but it got cold through the winter. I had, you know what I mean? I wasn't really doing them that much unless it wasn't too cold. I'd bundle up and take my walks, which is kind of nice because no one would be there. I'm all over the place. I don't think I came to any kind of conclusion, just a plan. And if I'm not going to follow through with the plan, then I probably shouldn't be wondering why I feel this way. I think I feel this way maybe because I'm not doing anything. And that's kind of what I told my therapist. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do real life shit. I don't. I tried, it ain't fucking doing it for me. And I think when people relapse, I think that's what happens beforehand. And maybe I let my routine go. They tell you a relapse starts way before the reintroduction of the substance into your body. They say it's some mental shit, probably like what I'm describing. All your efforts are leading to nothing. And that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm doing all this for my loved ones and shit, so they don't. Because it's like people actually want to be. People care about me and they want to be around me. They like me. And it's like a weird thought to have. Like, I always felt like I was in the way of everyone else. Kind of. I mean, see, when I say shit like this, I don't want to paint this picture of I was just a miserable fucking piece of shit my whole life. I was happy. I had lots of times where you've seen me laughing. Even now, even today at work, I busted out laughing so hard a bunch of times. I just feel like there's no purpose. And maybe that comes from living alone. And maybe that's clinical depression. And maybe that's sitting around and not doing shit. And maybe it's all of it. And maybe I just found my solution. Ladies and gentlemen, Crown of Thoughts. I'm your host, Double A. Does there exist motivation without suffering? You can describe a lot of little shit can lead right back to the suffering thing. So it's hard to say. The definitions are getting in the way. So I'm going to take the paper. I'm going to draw a line down the middle. I'm going to look at the left and take care of my shit. I'm going to look at the right and see who else needs shit from me. I'm going to look down at the bottom part and see how to take care of myself, which probably has a lot to do with that left column for me personally. So guys, Crown of Thoughts, I'm Double A. You guys fucking have a good day, and hopefully I gave you some useful information. And I'd like to give a shout out to your guys' moms. Tell them to stop fucking texting me. I don't know. That's not every joke lands. Peace.